Welcome to my channel Phi Concepts CHF. We will see the first part of the series of behavior of real gases, where we will see about the concept of ideal gas, that is the introduction part, then kinetic theory of gases, and Andrews experiments on carbon dioxide. Introduction. Concept of ideal gas. An ideal gas is a real gas at low pressure. It is a gas which strictly obeys gas laws like Boyle's law, Charles' law, as well as the gas equation under all conditions. It is just an ideal concept which assumes that at very low pressures, the force of intermolecular forces are negligible. Therefore, at low pressures only, a real gas obeys the ideal gas equation PV is equal to RT. In fact, no gas is ideal in true sense. So, comes the concept of real gas. At low temperatures and high pressures, all real gases show some deviation from the gas laws. Kinetic theory of gases. We will consider a gas enclosed in a vessel. Laws of classical mechanics are applicable to the motion of these molecules. So we'll see the postulates of kinetic theory of gases. A gas is composed of small indivisible particles called molecules. All molecules are alike but differ from the molecules of other gases. Distance between the molecules is large as compared to that of a solid or liquid, hence the forces of intermolecular attraction are negligible. Molecules are moving with varying velocities. They are moving in straight lines between any two consecutive collisions. Size of the molecules are considered to be infinitesimally small. Andrews experiments on carbon dioxide. This is the setup for the experiment. Liquefaction of gases was thoroughly investigated by Andrews. It was studied in 1869. Andrews had studied the isothermals of carbon dioxide at different temperatures. Now we'll see the construction. Two capillary tubes sealed at upper ends project vertically from a steel casing. So these two are the capillary tubes and they are kept in this steel casing. Top part of one of the capillary tubes contains carbon dioxide trapped by a thread of mercury. So in this capillary tube, here there is carbon dioxide and it is sealed by a thread of mercury. Top part of the other capillary tube contains dry air. So here there is dry air. Again it is sealed by a thread of mercury. The mercury in each capillary tube was held in by the water pressure in the steel casing. So the steel case consists of water. The pressure was increased by turning the screws P1 and P2. These are the screws P1 and P2. Both tubes are surrounded by water baths J1 and J2. So this is J1 and J2. To keep carbon dioxide and the air at any desired constant temperature. Air is maintained at a constant room temperature. The temperature of carbon dioxide can be changed from 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. Both tubes are checked for uniform diameter and the volume of the gas per millimeter length was measured before installing the tubes in the casing. With carbon dioxide at constant temperature, pressure was increased in steps. At each step, the length of each gas column was measured when it is steady. Therefore, the volume of each gas could be determined. Since air obeys Boyle's law, its pressure could be calculated from its volume. So the formula is PV is equal to P0 V0. P0 V0 are the pressure and the volume of the air at atmospheric pressure respectively. P and V are the pressure and volume of the air at any step. Since carbon dioxide was at the same pressure as air at each step, therefore the pressure of carbon dioxide could be found. Therefore, Andrews was able to obtain the readings of the pressure and volume at different constant temperatures for a fixed mass of carbon dioxide. Discussion of results. So these are the isothermals drawn. So isothermals were drawn at different temperatures from which following conclusions were made. The graph shows results for carbon dioxide gas with the pressure plotted on the vertical axis and volume on the horizontal axis. Each curve is at a different constant temperature. The curves are referred to as isotherms of pressure against volume. The liquid state can only exist at or below the critical temperature Tc. This is the critical temperature Tc. So this side below this curve, which is in the liquid state, and above Tc it is in the gaseous state. Now we'll see for each temperature. First is at 13.1 degrees Celsius. That is the lowest curve, this one. The portion AB, this is portion AB, represents the gaseous state of carbon dioxide up to point B. It obeys the Boyle's law. From B to C, the volume suddenly decreases with slight increase in pressure. This is BC. Portion BC represents the change of the gas from gaseous state to liquid state. At point C, that is here, the gas has been liquefied completely. So that is a liquid state. CD represents, this is C and D, represents the liquid state of the carbon dioxide gas. Next is at 21.5 degrees Celsius, you get a similar type of graph. The horizontal proportion BC has decreased further to Fg. This is Fg. At 31.1 degrees Celsius, that is this curve. The horizontal portion is just vanished. This is called as a critical isothermal for carbon dioxide. Now above this temperature, that is 35.5 degrees Celsius and 48.1 degrees Celsius, the horizontal portion does not appear at all. That is this curve. And the gas obeys the Boyle's law from one end to other. Hence, for carbon dioxide, the critical isothermal divides into two regions. Above the critical isothermal, the gas cannot be liquefied, howsoever large the applied pressure may be. Below the critical isothermal, the gas can be liquefied by the application of pressure alone. The dotted curve whose highest point P is called critical point and the temperature 31.1 degrees Celsius of the isothermal is called as a critical temperature. Critical constants. Critical constants consists of critical temperature. First is the critical temperature. Maximum temperature at which a gas can be liquefied by the increase of pressure alone. Above this temperature, the gas cannot be liquefied, howsoever large the applied pressure may be. Next is critical pressure. The pressure necessary to liquefy a gas at critical temperature. Next is critical volume. It is the volume which unit mass of a gas occupies at the critical temperature and critical pressure. So these three quantities Tc, Pc and Vc, they are called as a critical constants of a gas. Then there is critical point. It is that point on the isothermal for the critical temperature at which the change of state from the gaseous state to the liquid state takes place under constant values of Pc and Vc. Thank you for watching this video.